discussion is that I will be sharing some more case studies with you guys, and once again we will have a discussion on those case studies, that what are the ethical solutions and what are the unethical solutions for the given problems. And after that we will discuss the stuff that you guys have collected related to the unethical practices of clients, consultants, and contractors. So that's the objective of our today's class. Let's start with some of the case studies from my side, and then we'll come to your assignment. Okay, let me share my screen with you. Okay, guys, can you see the PowerPoint now? My PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's see another case study. And as this subject is of professional ethics, so I have tried to gather some examples outside of the civil engineering, just to give you a holistic idea about this ethics. So let's say you are a lawyer and a client comes to you and asks to defend him. Through discussion, you find out that he is guilty. Now, will you defend him in the court or not? And why? So what do you think? If you are a lawyer and this situation happens to you, some client comes to you and he explains his case, and you find out that he's actually guilty. He has committed the crime. Now, should you defend him in the court or not? And what is the reason behind your decision? So please raise your hand if you want to say something about this. Anybody? And again, I would remind you guys that your opinion may or may not be right. That's totally fine. All I want is to hear your opinion and to participate in the discussion. So I want more and more students participating in the discussion and giving their opinion. And there are no negative points of incorrect answers. And in fact, there are no absolutely incorrect answers. Like, everybody has his own logic. So all we want is that we have a discussion and share our logic, whatever is that. Maybe right or wrong, does not matter. So any volunteer, or should I pick somebody? Anybody? Okay, Mubin, please go ahead.
Sir, I think he will defend his client, because his profession is more oriented towards every client, whatever the client comes, and his profession is oriented towards defending him. So whether he may be guilty or not, he will defend his client.
He will defend his client, or you think he should defend his client because his profession is to, like, he's a professional lawyer, and his responsibility or his professional task is to defend whoever comes to him. So in this
Yes.
perspective, he should defend that person. And somebody in another class, somebody said that because it's his profession and his livelihood is dependent upon that, so a lawyer should not do any pick and choose. Whoever comes to him or her, he or she should defend that person regardless of that whether the client is guilty or not. Okay, so this is one opinion. Anybody else? Abdul Hasib. Abdul Hasib Ahmed, are you there? You are not there? Okay. Ehrima Rafiq, if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, pardon me. Is it Ehrima Rafiq? Fourth one in our
Yes, sir.
list currently. Okay, Ji Ehrima. So what is your opinion about this? What should be done?
Sir, if the lawyer wants to earn money, he will defend him. But if he is concerned about the right and wrong decision, he will not defend him.
He will not defend him. So defending him would be ethical or unethical?
It will be unethical.
It will be unethical. Um, all right. So actually, there are two opinions about this. One opinion is, as just Arima said, that defending a guilty person is unethical. Uh, but the other perspective is that if you are a professional lawyer, you need clients and you need business. So you should defend anybody, whether he is guilty or not. And there is another perspective to it. Some people say that it is everybody's right to be defended. Okay, Farhan, you had raised your hand. Please go ahead.
Sir, I think he should defend him, but what he should not do is to give the assurances to him that he will win the case and demand extra money for that. That is unethical, I think. To put his case in front of the judge and then let the judge decide whether he is right or wrong. That is, I think, that is not unethical.
That is not another. Okay, that's true. That's the other perspective that I was going to talk about. That some people have this opinion that everybody has the right to defend himself, and for that one needs a lawyer. So a lawyer's responsibility is to present people's case regardless if they are guilty or they are not guilty, because even if somebody is guilty of uh, uh, committing certain crime, then even then it is his right uh, to that his case should be properly presented in case of in front of a judge or in front of a jury, because every crime, it's not like that every like if somebody gets killed by you, now there can be multiple reasons behind that. It might be an accident, or it might be an like in some cases it might be an intentional murder, or in some cases it might be an unintentional murder. So depending upon the circumstances, the court gives the punishment. So the other perspective that I'm talking about is that it is not the job of a lawyer to make a decision that whether a person is guilty or not. It is the job of judge or jury to make that decision. So in that sense, it is okay. And and the only question in this scenario is about ethics. In any case, it is legal. It is legally fine to defend anybody who is actually a criminal. Legally, it's not wrong. Okay. All right. So let's come to the slides. What can be ethical and unethical situation? The previous slides. Okay. If you defend him in the court, it is unethical. However, it is not illegal to defend him. It is the job of the judge or jury to decide if he is guilty or not. And what's wrong in this situation? Concealing the truth for your own benefit. Because if you are defending a person who you know is actually guilty, then in order to save him from the punishment, you might have to, or rather, you will actually have to conceal certain facts, right? If you give away all the information and expose the entire truth, then there is very high likelihood that your client will get the punishment. And as his lawyer, you don't want that. So in this scenario, if you are defending him, you will conceal the truth and for your own benefit, and that is unethical. Okay. However, it is not illegal. Okay. Scenario number 3, case study number 3. Let's say you want to buy a piece of land to construct an office building. Someone is selling a piece of land for 5 million. You don't have 5 million. You only have 4.5 million. What should you do? What can be unethical scenarios in this situation? So depending upon like our current practices in the field or in the market, what do you guys think? What are the unethical practices that are there in such cases? When people want to buy land, what unethical practices do they do in order to save the money or in order to get the desired piece of land? So what are your thoughts on this? How do people exploit or manipulate such situations? Anybody? Okay, Hamza.
Sir, occupy the land.
Oh, occupy. Somebody said, who was he? ये किसने कहा?
Sir, occupy the land illegally.
Occupy the land. Yeah, that's very aggressive, right? Occupy the land illegally. You're right that it happens in the real world, but it's far beyond that unethical. It's like really illegal, and it's a crime. So, but you're right. It's illegal as well as unethical, and people do that. Okay, what else people do? Or if I give you a hint that how people manipulate the situation to devalue somebody else's property or to present it in a way that, oh, it doesn't worth that much, it worth less.
Sir, they can send different other people to value that property, like it is just 4 million and you are going to sell it for 5 million. It will not happen. And in this way, he thinks that actually my property is not worth of having 5 million, so he may decrease the price.
All right, that's true. That's one of the scenarios that was in my mind, and I have written on the slides that what people do. Let's say the asked price is 5 million, and you want to buy it in 4.5 million, and the seller is not agreed on that. Then what you do, you ask your friends or your other connections to contact the seller and quote him a price of like 4 million, 4.1 million, 4.2 million. And when several people get that code, then the seller gets an impression that, oh, I'm not going to get 5 million ever for this property. And if he's in need of money and he wants to sell his property quickly, then he might change his mind and sell you the property for 4.5 million. So this is one way of exploiting the situation. And there are other ways too, and some are like totally illegal. For example, as one of the students said, that people occupy the property illegally on the base of power or by suppressing people. So that's something unethical and illegal. All right. So that's what we have on our slide, what I have just explained. And the wrong thing here is manipulation. Okay, case study number 4. Now this is more relevant to you guys. We have talked about the case studies related to engineering and related to some other professions. Now one case study about your academic life. Let's say you have a homework and you have to finish it and it has 5 problems. So you study with your friends and together you solve all 5 problems and submit. Solution of problem 3 is wrong and both the homeworks have same mistakes. Professor will blame you for cheating. What should you have done to avoid this situation? And now there is nothing wrong in group study, but what else is wrong here? Okay, let me come out of the slideshow. All right, so what do you guys think in this situation? What is the right thing to do? Let me come on my screen and now I can see if anybody raised his or her hand. So what do you guys think if this situation happened? You have 5 problems to do and you do you solve them together, and one of the problems has same mistakes, and that gives an idea to the professor that you guys have cheated. So, and professor points it out. So what's wrong in this situation? Ji Farhan.
Sir, group study is not bad, but I think group cheating is bad. We should solve our own problems and where we find difficulty. Then only we can discuss with each other.
All right. Okay, good. So this is one perspective. You might agree with the given scenario or you might disagree. You don't have to agree with the given situation. So I want to hear different perspectives. Does any one of you think that the situation is a fair situation? It's fine to do that. Like, even if you guys did it together, does anybody think that it's fine? If you think it's fine, it's okay to say it. No problem.
Yes, sir, I think it's fine because both the students have done by their mutual understanding. So maybe they both have the same idea to solve the problem. So they have done in the
Okay.
same manner.
Okay. And what do you think? What should the professor do in this situation?
Sir, if it is required that the students should have different solutions, then professor may do some, we can say that he can take any legal action, but otherwise he should accept it.
Oh, you should accept it. But most of the time, the assignments that we give to students, that assignment has a unique solution. It's not that everybody has a different solution. Um, Unless it's a theoretical assignment. For example, the one that I gave you this time, like last week, that assignment has a theoretical solution, and everybody will have a different answer to that, or might have compiled different points. But in general, we are studying civil engineering, so whenever we solve some mathematical problems and we do not have, uh, like most of the time we have unique solutions. But still, if different people do it independently and individually, and even if their final answers are same, but their procedure would be slightly different because everybody has his own way of doing the things. So that should be fine. But anyways, any other idea? You think the this should be accepted, or has uh, has this thing happened to you guys anytime in your academic life when you encountered such situation that you were accused of uh, cheating? Engineer Ehtisham, 98. What is your opinion on this?
Sir, Mr. Farhan said a good.
What did he say?
Sir, group study is good. Sir, where we have a difficulty, we have to solve. We have to contact to each other.
You have to contact each other and then solve it together. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I don't see a lot of people willing to share their perspective here, but okay, we will discuss other things and then. Okay, yes. Oh, but do you think is it feasible for the professor if professor has 200 students? Okay, okay. All right, let's get back to the slides. So my perspective is studying in group is okay. Uh, some people may say that solving homework together is unethical. Some people may say even solving homework problems together is fine. There might be a difference of opinion. But one perspective, and probably this is more like of a teacher's perspective, that when we assign a homework, we want to test your ability and understanding as an individual student. Okay, it's just like an exam that we give you to solve independently. So in that case, maybe the best solution is you may study together, and in fact, I encourage group study. But whenever it comes to the solution of homework problems, you should try to solve the solution, try to solve the homework problem independently or alone. So what's wrong or unethical in this situation? Using help, which wasn't allowed. Okay, so this concludes our slides or different case studies from my side for our today's discussion. Now I would like to switch to the assignment problems that assignment solutions that you guys have submitted. So everybody I'm expecting has contacted any one of the client, contractor or consultant and gathered some information about the unethical practices. So let's see what those unethical practices are. So let me just get rid of the screen that I'm sharing. Okay, and now I would like you guys, like I randomly saw some of the assignment problems and some guys have, some students have compiled really good information. So I want you guys to share your observations one by one, and either you guys will volunteer or I will ask you guys one by one, and I want to see that what information you have gathered regarding the unethical practices of client, consultant, and contractor. So anyone, please raise your hand. And as it is your assignment problem and everybody has done some homework on this, so I want everybody participating in this discussion. So please raise your hand. Don't be shy. Whatever you have gathered, just let others know. Okay, Anis Malik. Anis? Anis, are you there?
Yes, sir.
जी अनीस, बताएं आपने असाइनमेंट में क्या रिपोर्ट किया? Which company did you contact, by the way? Anis, your mic is mute.
Sir, I am so sorry. I am surrounded by some family members. Can't answer
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Like you really can't talk?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, next time you better find some corner where you can sit and talk, because this class is more like a discussion. It's not like one-way communication. Anyways, Ayan 2929.
Yes, sir.
जी आयान, so आपने क्या असाइनमेंट में लिखा है?
सर मैंने कॉन्ट्रैक्टर और क्लाइंट की अनएथिकल प्रैक्टिसेस लिखी थी.
So you contacted a consultant then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so क्या उन्होंने आपको बताया कि what are the unethical practices?
Sir, they actually told me about unethical practice of contractor, like they don't sometimes do proper work, or they try to save money and do not deliver a proper project. And some of the unethical practices of clients were that they don't give proper information, or they don't pay the client proper the complete amount or the agreed upon amount, and sometimes they don't provide the environment, they don't provide the safe environment for the workers. Sir, can I please open my assignment?
Yeah, sure, you can open your assignment. Yeah, it's not an exam. You guys can open your assignment and then explain and be a bit specific.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, the unethical practices of contractors were not working properly on a project, not caring about the well-being of his workers, using poor quality products just to save money for themselves, not paying workers their agreed wages, and sometimes they bribe the clients to award them the project.
All right. Okay, these are the unethical practices by the contractor. Okay, and what about the client? जी Ayan. Ayan, I can hear you. Ayan, you are audible. आपकी आवाज आ रही है. Ayan? No. Okay. Bilal Mirza. Bilal, are you
Yes,
there?
sir. Yes, sir, I'm
Ji
here.
Bilal.
So
So
can I
who
open?
did you
Yes.
contact?
May I open my assignment?
Yeah, sure. All of you can open your assignments. No problem.
Sir, I called the client and he tell me about the unethical practices of contractor and also consultant.
Okay.
And I made some bullet points and I want to explore them one by one. First of all,
Yeah, sure.
unethical practices of contractor. First one is the payment issues. Contractor do the overbilling. Uh, these bills paid by the clients to the material sellers. Then the contractor takes the commission from the material sellers.
Oh, okay. So contractor make commission in the material
Yes,
procurement.
yes, exactly. He said to me there is a lot of safety issues. Knowingly engaging in unsafe workplace building or inspection practices. And then,
Okay, so
sir, the major
contractor,
issue is yes.
like the contractor, they do not take care of the safety measures on site.
Exactly, exactly. And then is the
Okay.
license issue. Many contractors do not have the license of their registered company.
Okay. But they
And
make false
yes,
claims about this.
yes, exactly. And then the construction claims, inflated or fraudulent claims, like for example, exaggerated portfolio. They actually don't. They actually didn't do a lot of work, but they show a lot of work in their portfolio.
Okay. All right. All right.
Then refusing to pay then refusing to pay their labors. And
Okay. They don't pay their wages.
yes, and unfair labor practice, unsafe use of labor, unsafe use of material, unethical communication with labor. It's a very important point, sir.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Normally, if you visit any site, normally the communication is pretty rough, and
Yeah,
it's
yes.
it's hard to yeah,
And then
it's
sir,
hard to
the
digest.
contractor, yes, the contractor use a very poor material in the construction. This one is also very important point. It's a very unethical and it's the one unbeneficiary for the clients as the client spend a lot of money on his project and it's a very unethical process of the contractor.
All right, all right. Okay, I think you have compiled a lot of points about this. And one thing that came into my mind when you were
Yes,
saying, when you were mentioning about the licenses, like this is like you, all of you guys, when you will go into the industry, you will observe and experience all these unethical practices. But one thing regarding these licenses is like a lot of people they give offers to fresh graduates regarding their PEC number, because when you will graduate you will get PEC registration, and especially contractors they ask the fresh graduates to sell their PEC numbers. In fact, they don't want to hire the engineers, but they need the engineer's PEC number for their company registration. And then they pay just a one-time amount to those fresh graduates and get their numbers. So that's also an unethical practice, because that is not the right thing. That is an illegal thing to do, and its impact on the job market is that instead of hiring the engineer when they get only the PEC number, and they get it for at a very low price, then that badly affects the job markets of especially fresh graduates. So when you guys graduate and when you, whenever somebody gives you this offer, so you must reject this kind of offer. This is not good, or this is not right. Okay. All right, Mubin Hussain.
Yes, sir. Sir, I contacted a contractor and asked about the unethical practices of client and consultant. So, as far as the unethical practices are concerned, I was informed that the client may propose higher amounts to his favored bidder in order that his favored bidder or his favored contractor may win, or he may disclose a sensitive information such as the estimated rates or the estimated project amount to him so that he may easily win and prepare the BOQ in closer to his estimated BOQ and increases his chances of winning the bid. This was the unethical practices of the client. What is done while in the tendering process, and also there are unethical practices of the client in the post contract phase, and they constitute employer delays and payment delays because contractor may not always be in the favor of the client, so he creates a situation that to build a hate towards the selected contractor and try to bring back the contractor who favored him. So he tried to delay in accessing the contractor towards the site permits or licenses, approvals, and instructions and appropriate instructions, which may cause that personal dispute and thus creating delays to terminate the contractor. And as far as the unethical practices of consultants are
Okay,
concerned,
wait
yes,
here.
sir.
Just one thing for clarity. All these type of unethical practices of clients, uh, like are there whenever we are talking about public sector organizations mainly, because in private sector organization, the organizations normally work in its own interest. And if let's say you are constructing your own house, or you are constructing your own multi-story building,
Yes,
you
sir.
will try to
Yes, sir.
run
Basically,
all the
basically,
things smoothly.
these unethical practices are concerned towards when we have the client's representative instead of the client himself. And
Yeah.
basically, when we talk about public sector projects, and there are obviously the client's representative instead of proper client, and he controls all the funds and all that stuff.
All right. Okay. 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 Now you are going towards the consultants. All
Yes,
right,
sir. So
Mubin.
consultants basically the unethical practices constitute of imposing of heavy and unfair fines on the contractor to attract his bribery, and they accept the bribery from the contractor and also involved in basically this happens when the consultant is inexperienced, or he has lack of supervision, lack of experience, and poor
And
monitoring and pressure of the consultant.
not just lack of experience, but these things happen because of bad intentions as well. If
Yes, sir.
and this consultant is basically, we are talking about supervision consultant. So if
Yes.
supervision consultant has bad intention and he wants to make illegal money out of the project, then supervision consultants they do such kind of unethical actions. Okay, please
Yes.
go ahead.
So basically, these were all the points that I have summarized.
Okay. All right, moving good. Very good. Okay, anybody else? We have 37 attendees here. I think 3 or 4 students contributed or participated in the discussion. I want everybody contributing in the discussion. And from now onwards, I have decided one thing, because some of the classes are very good in discussion. A lot of students participate, but in some classes, very less students participate. So from now on, I have decided that I will keep track of the students who participate in a discussion, because I have uh, the list of your roll numbers and everything. So in every class, I can keep track, and at the end, this thing will matter when I'll be assigning you a grade, that how many of how many times you participated in the class discussion. Okay, so everybody should have that, like should take interest in the discussion and share his point of view, his or her point of view. Okay, anybody else? Okay, let me then choose. Okay, Ji Farhan.
Okay, sir, I contacted the consultant. I actually did
Okay,
not contact him directly. There was a friend
okay,
working there and asked him to contact him and tell him something.
okay,
And first of all, he said that the construction industry is such vast to avoid the corrupt practices and all these unethical practices. And some of the
all
common
right,
traits of the clients and the contractors, he told me, was that misusing the company time, sometimes disregard the other person, and due to the conflicts, both the clients and consultants at times misuse the time of the company and delay the projects to and all the favor is given to one person, and uh, one is mistaken and one is favored in this case. And second, he told that abusive behavior was very common. This is one thing that we see in our common societies, that the subgrades are always punished and abused in every field, and especially in the construction industry. And at times in and third thing was lying to the employees. At times in public sector projects, uh, it is lied to the employees that the about the payment disbursements from the public sector, and they are not given proper payments on time, and they are engaged as long as possible due to their payment disorders. And the fourth thing was the corrupt practices that are very common in construction industry. And kickbacks were also one of the facts to win the projects. They're often used. And these are five common traits that are clients and contractors. And some of the distinguished traits about the clients were that they sometimes change the terms and conditions of the projects, and that can disturb the project, and they save the payments in this method. And at times we see that clients dismiss their employers on the basis of personal likings and dislikings, which is very unethical, and in, that cause unemployment in this society. And about the contractors are often involved about keeping the about delaying the projects in order to keep the money inflow to their pockets, and they make lame excuses to keep the capital flowing towards them. And second thing
right,
was that they deceive their subordinates in various ways to keep the maximum of their profit to their own pocket. And
right.
third thing was that they always tend to employ as less employees as possible, which results in the delaying of the projects. These were some traits of their distinguished traits of clients and contractors.
Okay, okay, that's fine. That's good.
Thank you.
Mirza Muhammad. All right. Thank you, Farhan. Mirza Muhammad Safdar Sarfaraz.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
Walaikum
मैंने कांटेक्ट तो किसी से नहीं किया है, ये सर सपोज्ड है, मतलब अपने से लिखी हैं या सर्च वगैरह करके जो अपनी कॉमन सेंस के मुताबिक लिखी हैं, जो तो ये ओके।
अच्छा, लेकिन आप why didn't you try to contact anybody?
सर कोई खास कांटेक्ट में नहीं था तो इसलिए।
अच्छा, चलें, आपका क्या ख्याल है? आप अपना ख्याल बताएं फिर जरा।
सर according to me, the unethical behaviors shown by the contractor can cheat in the quality of material. He can delay the payments to the employees, and he can accept bribes and give bribes and corruption to the government officials. And he may try to bid the lowest bid to earn the project. So some unethical behaviors shown by the clients are he can demand extra scope, may stop the payment, they do not pay the full ownership to the contractors, and does not entertain the employees and can stop their payments, etc.
Okay.
And he can behave rudely, cold behaviors. And these are some common.
All right. This is about the contractor.
यस सर क्लाइंट का भी बता दिया बाद में, थोड़े दो दो तीन तीन पॉइंट्स बताएं, बाकी लिखे मैंने काफ़ी ज़्यादा हैं, मैंने कहा सर टाइम शॉर्ट की वजह से.
Okay. Okay. But I would encourage, it would have been better if you had contacted somebody, because when you write it by yourself, you have the general idea, but when you contact some organization, then you get very specific information.
Okay, sir.
Anyways,
I will try.
okay. Fida Bhatt.
यस सर, अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम. जी फिदा, आप हमें बताएंगे आपने क्या
जी सर,
रिपोर्ट किया?
I contacted a contractor. Sir, my father is a contractor, sir, in construction industry.
Himself.
So
Okay, that's good.
yes, sir. Sir, I asked about the unethical practices done by consultant firm. So first of all, he mentioned that, for example, our government is going to start a project, and all the contractor knows that. Sorry, someone is calling me. Sorry, sir. Sir, okay. Sir, my father said that our contractor already know that they have set an arrangement that who one is going to take this project, and they all are in contact with each other, and they know that this one project is going to sign this one, and they support each other in rates. Sir, class fellows are disturbing in calls. So, sir, second one is that
you are using a mobile phone?
monopoly in rates. Yes, sir. Sir, they are calling on MS Team. They are class fellows.
Just disregard the call. Okay, go ahead.
Second one is that monopoly in rates. Sir, they said that, for example, one is a consultant firm. He has contact with other consultant firms, and they said the one consultant firm is contacting to other consultant firm and asking him, instructing them that they should bid on this project more than their rates, so that a project can be awarded to them. Like, I am the consultant, I want to win this project, and I contact to other consultant firms and instruct them by bribe or anything else that they should put a bid of 2 million, and I have put a bid of 1.8 million, and 1.8 million itself is unreasonable. So in this way, I am going to get hired by this. They have all consultant firms are already in contact with each other related to any project. And sir, second, he mentioned that nepotism in hiring a contractor. They said that there are a number of consultant firms and contractors in industry, and for example, a firm is selected as a consultant, and they know that this firm is going to select that particular contractor for this project, and they support him through the any illegal information in winning this bid. And the last is that payment issues, payment commitments with contractor. Consultant firms do some. Sir, what can I use word? Sir, उर्दू में बोल दूं?
हाँ, बोल दे, उर्दू में बोल दे.
सॉरी सर, वो कह रहे थे कि कॉन्ट्रैक्टर के साथ वो पेमेंट की उन्होंने कमिटमेंट्स की होती हैं, जानबूझ के वो पेमेंट्स को डिले करते हैं, और उसके बदले में उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए लेम एक्सक्यूजेस बनाते हैं कि आपने काम में कुछ ये गलती की है, और इस तरह की चीज़ें करते हैं. और क्लाइंट की तरफ से मेन इशू पेमेंट का इशू होता है. और सेकेंडली उन्होंने कहा था कि बेसलेस फॉल्ट्स, लाइक क्लाइंट अगर पेमेंट को डिले कर रहा है तो वो उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए ये चीज़ कंसल्टेंट फर्म के थ्रू ये चीज़ ट्रांसलेट करता है या कम्युनिकेट करता है कि इन्होंने काम मेरे स्कोप के मुताबिक नहीं किया. एंड थर्ड केस इज़ दैट कि वो स्कोप इन केस के वो इंक्रीज़ कर देता है जो ऑलरेडी कमिटेड है. और कुछ वो client की भी commitments हैं, like he have committed that he will provide the site for machinery and something else, and later on he move back to this commitment.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think you have summarized good existing practices. And I don't know if I mentioned this before or not. In public sector organizations, this is a practice that there are contracts, especially this happens in small contracts. And there is a group of contractors, and it's already decided that who is going to get the contract. So they mutually decide what rate any particular contractor will be offering, and everybody already knows that who will be winning the contract. And this is definitely an unethical practice. And all of the practices that you mentioned, like almost all of them are actually happening in our construction industry. Okay, so I think we have discussed plenty of cases, and for today, probably we can conclude our discussion here. Let me mark your attendance. All right, so your attendance list is downloaded. So let's conclude our discussion here today, and we will meet in the next class, inshallah. Okay, Allah Hafiz.